Welcome to Tomorrow's World Today, a show dedicated to the discovery of innovation and cutting-edge technology. We showcase the latest developments from the greatest companies and smartest people in the world. Tomorrow's ideas are out there, and through our journey of inspiration, we will uncover the technology of the future. This is Inventionland World Headquarters. Here now is George Davison.
No matter how well you take care of yourself, no matter your workout regimen, you simply can't turn back the clock, let alone stop it. The simple fact is, we're all getting older every single day. But there are things that you can do to live a life that's healthier. There are scientists inventing all sorts of new formulas for vitamins that are also utilizing time-tested herbal traditions. These new formulas are giving us, well, a more natural wellness. When you hear the word fermentation, you're probably thinking beer. But did you know that vitamins and minerals can also be fermented? It was discovered that when they can also help to break down the key nutrients and then combine them with probiotics and whole foods so the body can absorb all that goodness quicker. Fermented multivitamins are unlocking the power within. So I'd like to find out more about the technology, the processes, and the promise of these nutrients and vitamins. I'm sending Daria to Vermont to report back on what she finds.
Hey George, I'm here in this beautiful spot in Vermont, nestled just above the Green Mountains, surrounded by the finest that nature has to offer. And it's the natural spot to begin to learn about the story of a company that has been a true pioneer in the field of dietary supplements, and one of the very first to combine herbs, food, and nutrients to promote natural wellness. The company I'm talking about is called New Chapter, and its roots go back to 1982. So follow me as we discover how supplements are made and used. I'm really excited to learn the whole story behind New Chapter, starting from the very beginning, and more importantly, what the mission is behind this company and how it has grown over the past nearly 4 decades. This is an amazing facility, just as beautiful as the countryside surrounding it. But I know there's a whole lot more to this place than just what meets the eye. I want to find out all about the products that have been created and developed here. And for that, I'm meeting with Charlotte Tross, who will give me more on the backstory and where they grew the very first herbs. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Darius. Welcome to Vermont.
Oh, thank you. I'm ready to learn more.
Well, New Chapter was founded in 1982, and we're known for being leaders in innovation within the supplement industry. We were one of the first companies to ferment multivitamins made with organic ingredients as well as organic herbals. And when you ferment them, they actually work differently. You know, they're formulated for absorption.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the first herbs and ingredients that you used.
Sure. So New Chapter sources from all over the world where things grow best, like turmeric from India, or elderberry from small family farms in Austria. And then we also ferment those ingredients and include them into our multivitamins.
With all the sourcing you're doing from around the world, you do a lot. Something tells me you don't do it alone. Tell me about some of your partners.
No, we have many quality partners that we work with, but one that really stands out is the Rodale Institute. The Rodale Institute is known for being leaders in regenerative agriculture. Why don't we go in and take a look?
Yeah. You know, Charlotte, I really love coming to co-ops and going to farmers markets. It's so great to see such beautiful fruits and vegetables. But I'm curious, why is it that we can't really get all of the nutrients that we need out of all of these gorgeous fruits and vegetables?
Well, you can, but the truth is most people don't. Unfortunately, our food is a lot less nutrient dense now than it was in the 1970s. In fact, you'd have to eat 8 oranges today to get the same nutrition that you would have gotten out of 1 orange in the 1970s.
Really? Is that because of soil turnover?
Yes, and that's why it's so important to take a multivitamin. It's really like nutritional insurance. But we also partner with really important institutions like the Rodale Institute, and they're really helpful at putting nutrients back into the soil to make more nutritious food. In fact, I've actually set up a tour for you of the Rodale Institute. It's in Pennsylvania, so it's about a 5-hour drive.
Okay, well, we're used to driving and traveling, so I'll head over there, but I'll be back because I have more questions for you.
Well, have a safe trip and enjoy New England.
Okay, I will. Thanks. Well, I've made it here to the Rodale Institute to learn more about regenerative organic agriculture and how they grow and compare conventional versus organic crop. So let's check in with Dr. Drew Smith. Hi, Drew.
Hi, Darian. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you. So tell me a little bit more about the work that you do here.
Well, Rodale Institute is the birthplace of regenerative organic agriculture, so we produce organic crops. But we also do research, education, and outreach about organic agriculture.
Let's talk specifically about the difference between conventional and organic growing and why you do this research.
Yeah, we have what we call the Farming Systems Trial now in its 40th year, and it's a side-by-side comparison of organic and conventional practices, conventional meaning the standard chemical approach to agriculture.
So how important is this for someone who's maybe trying to choose between conventional versus organic foods and ingredients?
Well, we think it's vital. We've seen that over the last 70 years there's been a decline in the nutritional quality of our food, and at the same time our soils have degraded. So we've demonstrated in our Farming Systems Trial and other research projects we can improve soil health and we can produce crops and yields that are comparable to the conventional system. And our goal is to demonstrate that as you improve soil health, you can improve the nutritional quality of food and ultimately human health. So I'd love to show you around the farm.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a look? We're on our way to the Vegetable Systems Trial, but I wanted to show you an example of the research that we do here. Here we have corn growing to the right using our standard organic practices using tillage, where we've demonstrated that we can produce yields comparable to the conventional system. But right next to it, we have a no-till system where we've not used tillage, and we are developed a system without the use of herbicides to grow no-till corn and other crops. And what we've been able to show over a long period of time is that we can have yields in corn and other crops that are comparable to our standard organic system without the use of tillage. And this is an example of the kind of systems that we are working on here that are effective, efficient, and regenerative. So Darius, we're now in the middle of the Vegetable Systems Trial, where we are growing organic vegetables, and here we have organic vegetable plots, and just 30 feet away we're growing conventional vegetable plots. And we're comparing soil health as well as nutritional quality of the fruits and vegetables grown there. We're specifically growing root crops like potatoes, which is the most consumed vegetable in the world, fruit crops like butternut squash, as well as leafy greens.
How do you research and measure the nutritional density?
Well, after we harvest the crops, we process them in the lab, and then we're measuring the nutrients. And these are vitamins, minerals, amino acids, proteins, as well as bioactive compounds such as lycopene, beta-carotene, and anthocyanin, which we're now learning are critically important for human health.
And how does all of this relate to your relationship with New Chapter?
Well, New Chapter is a philanthropic partner that is specifically funding the Vegetable Systems Trial. And without philanthropic partnerships, we really couldn't run these trials. So I'd love to take you to the lab and show you the work we're doing there.
Yeah.
Dareth, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Yichao Rui, our soil scientist at Rodale. He's going to show you around the lab today.
Great.
Great, come with me. I'll show you the lab.
Great.
So this is our lab. It's where we process and analyze samples. So here, Jessica is processing some plant samples. You can see she's pulling all the wheat heads together. And here, Annie is separating all the grains from the weeds. So you can see these are the grain samples we will send out for nutrient density analysis, including amino acids and vitamins. And here, Casey and Amir, they are processing soil samples. Casey is sieving the soil and Amir is grinding the soil. So we will send these soil samples out for soil carbon and nutrient analysis. And we have two samples here from the conventional and organic plots of the farming system trial.
And I can really see the difference here. This one much more darker, richer. I assume this is the organic, and that one the conventional.
You're absolutely correct.
Well, this has been really great. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad that you had some time to explain to me in detail what was going on.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to head back up to Vermont and meet with Charlotte.
All right, bye.
Hey, George.
Hey, Darius.
I'm coming to you from Allentown, Pennsylvania, where I just finished a very interesting tour of the Rodale Institute. But first, let me tell you a little bit more about what I learned at my first stop at New Chapter in Vermont. Wow, what a beautiful place this is. The Green Mountains are absolutely stunning. My first meeting was with Charlotte, and boy, does she really know her stuff, as she shared with me the history of New Chapter and what their supplements and ingredients stand for. My second stop was here in Allentown, Pennsylvania, at the Rodale Institute, where I learned about the relationship between organic farming and the quality of the ingredients used in New Chapter supplements. And now that I have the full organic nutritional story, I'm heading back to Vermont to take another look at their process, this time understanding the critical role that regenerative organic agriculture plays in the company's mission. I'll be sure to check back in with you a little later on.
Bye, Darius.
Let's experience the power of fermentation together. When you smell this kimchi, what do you smell?
Ooh, nasty.
That's the power of fermentation in action. When you think of fermentation, what's one of the first things that comes to your mind?
Beer.
Yes, but the cool part is that fermentation actually transforms foods. It starts with simple things like cabbage and turns it into kimchi, or milk and transforms it into yogurt. You would never give a 6-month-old baby milk, would you? But yogurt is so gentle on the stomach thanks to fermentation, and it's actually one of the first foods that doctors recommend that you give a baby.
And how is fermentation used in your products?
It's so cool. We start with a Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is a fancy name for brewer's yeast, right? And we create a broth, and we feed the Saccharomyces the nutrients like vitamin A, vitamin C, so that it actually incorporates into the cell structure of the Saccharomyces cerevisiae.
And what about probiotics?
Yes, a lot of fermented foods are probiotic rich, and that's why we add probiotics into our fermentation process.
Do multivitamins help with nutrient deficiencies?
Absolutely. Multivitamins are a lot like nutritional insurance. Many adults are vitamin D3 deficient, right? And multivitamins help cover your bases, especially during the winter when you're probably not getting enough sunlight.
And what about your other products?
We have many other products that incorporate fermented nutrients, like our Bone Strength Take Care has fermented D3 in it, or we make a fermented turmeric product as well.
And fish oils?
Absolutely. Let's wrap up here and I'll show you our sustainable fish oil.
We are here along the water in New England, and that brings me to this question about fish oil and why it's important to take fish oil.
Well, your body needs fats to function properly, especially your brain, which is why you should have omegas to fulfill healthy fats, because fats really got a bad rap that they were all bad, but they're not. And that's why we make our whole mega, which is wild Alaskan salmon oil.
Why do you go to Alaska to source it?
Because our oceans are very fragile and the wild Alaskan salmon is sustainable. What happens is that the fillets go to your seafood counter and we use the trim or what's left over to press and make omega.
There are a lot of fish oils out here and a lot of choices, but how do you know that you're choosing the right one and it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing?
Omega was clinically tested and shown to reduce triglyceride levels by 8.5% in just 2 weeks. That's amazing.
So we have a lot more to talk about, so let's head back to headquarters.
Sounds great.
We haven't talked much about bones or calcium, and interestingly enough, when I was growing up, my mom used to always say to me, drink plenty of milk to get your calcium. Is that true?
Well, if you're one of the 60% of Americans who's lactose intolerant, the answer is probably no. But fortunately, New Chapter makes a plant-sourced calcium called Bone Strength Take Care.
All right, well, tell me more.
Well, we use lithothamnium algae, and that's really special because most calcium supplements use limestone rock. Imagine trying to get nutrition from a rock, right? Well, we use plant-sourced lithothamnium algae to give your body a form of calcium it can truly absorb.
Where do you source it from?
Well, we source it off the coast of Iceland. The water off the coast of Iceland is pristine, but also it's where we can harvest our lithothamnium sustainably.
Are there other supplements that you should include with calcium?
Yes, the great part about Bone Strength Take Care is it's actually a formula. It includes K2, which directs the calcium to your bones where you need it, and D3, which helps it absorb. And considering that bone loss starts at the age of 30, everyone could use a great bone formula.
Definitely. Well, this has been so interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming to Vermont.
Yeah, I'm going out to meet Blaine now.
Oh, have fun.
I've made it here to the boardroom at New Chapter, and I'm joined with General Manager Blaine Streisand. Blaine, let's get started talking a little bit about National Safety Foundation. Who are they?
So the NSF is a third-party organization who has been around since 1944. Their focus is on certifying that all products meet public health and safety standards. We do extensive partnering with them, mostly around ethical and sustainable sourcing.
So you also work with them on an assessment tool. Tell me a little bit more about that and how that works.
Yeah, they've helped us develop a ethical sourcing assessment tool to make sure that each and every supplier abides by a standard and a threshold that is essential to meeting New Chapter's high quality standards, whether it be sustainable sourcing, whether it be high quality ingredients, whether it be paying farmers fair wages, whatever it may be. This is a foundational platform that New Chapter is built off of to ensure that every single product that we deliver to the market is consistent, high quality, and efficacious for the end user.
So it sounds to me like they are really important to you meeting the responsibility to your end consumer.
That's correct. Not only do they help us partner with suppliers who provide us these highest quality ingredients for our products today, but we also work with them very diligently on how to find new suppliers for the future.
We are under an incredible amount of stress these days, and our nutrition is challenged. Why is supplementation so important now and in the future?
We need to focus on eating good foods and also supplementing them where we're nutritionally deficient. And it's important for us in the future to make sure that we're working with manufacturers and suppliers who are focused on ethically sourcing, sustainability, and regenerative farming to improve the overall nutritional outtake of food and also supplementation.
You know, I generally take something back for George, and so is there something that you might recommend?
Yeah, there's one product that I suggest to George, one of our multivitamins. It's a men's 55 plus multivitamin, and I'd encourage him to take this.
He needs it, and I'm sure he'll use it, so thanks so much.
Wish him the best,
Okay.
Thanks. Our mission is to raise the bar on health and wellness for people and planet, and we're going to continue to do that. The question is, how much more do we do and how much further do we push? I think the key will be building principles and pushing people around us to continue to keep up the pace that we are. If we stay true to our principles, we will have done a very good job. Of course, no one is going to look like they do in 25 to 30 years. The world is evolving at an incredibly rapid pace. But we have what I believe is a foundational mission that I think should be part of who we are for the rest of the future of the brand.
Hello, Darius. Hey, how are you? Things going okay over there?
Hey, that's really nice of Blaine. I could always use some multivitamins. Oh, it's coming in now. Okay. Thank you.
This just arrived.
Tony, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, that timing was perfect.
Yes, sir.
What do we have here? Whole mega fish oil. Oh, that's good. Sustainably sourced from wild salmon. Now we like hearing that. What's this one? Bone strength. All right, good absorption, I hope. Okay, this is the one Blaine's talking about, the multi. Okay, well, that's good. Seeing that this fits my age category.